My name is Gabby Mers, and I am the former student body president at Bluebell, as well as last year's recipient of the Leaders of Tomorrow Award. And I am beyond honored to be part of this year's International Women's Day celebration. Just last year, I felt so much uncertainty about my future, and it's very surreal to get the chance to look back in this way and reflect on everything that's happened in the past year. So sitting here, a year later in my dorm room, I'm almost done my first year at Queen's, and I'm pursuing a Bachelor of Commerce, and I'm learning that I really want to specialize in consulting and strategy. In terms of kind of what I've been involved with, I'm the first year rep on one of our biggest consulting clubs here on campus, and I am also a varsity field hockey athlete, which has just been an amazing experience as a whole. And then kind of looking ahead into the future, this summer, I actually found this out today. I'm going to be working an internship as a business analyst at BMO, which I'm very excited about. Shout out all the BMO people in the audience. And just get the chance to gain experience in the industry and figure out what my career path might start to look like in the next couple of years. So when I received the Future Female Leader of Tomorrow Award, it was because of an initiative that I had started called We Scare Hunger, which was this food drive competition that was able to raise nearly $12,000 and 25,000 meals for the Waterloo Region Food Bank. Now, what makes me most proud is that it's since become a legacy event, and it continues to run even after I graduated. And in fact, this past year, it actually grew with even more high schools joining in. And while I may no longer be the one leading it, I'm so proud of the leaders that came after me and getting to know that this was the kind of event that made people want to get up and give back in any way that they could. The best piece of advice I ever received, and I guess I'm channeling into words of advice for future leaders of tomorrow, is to stay curious and ask questions and not be afraid to challenge the way things have always been done. Leadership isn't just about stepping up and being the person on stage holding a microphone. It's about looking at the world around you and wondering if there's a better way to do things. When I started We Scare Hunger, it wasn't because I had this big game-changing idea. I just kept wondering, why aren't students more engaged in giving back? And why does it feel like it's something we should do rather than something we want to do? That simple question led to a food drive that grew into something bigger than I had ever expected. Whether it's in business or leadership or life, real progress starts with curiosity. And it starts with someone asking, does it have to be this way? And then having the courage to actually do something about it. So I guess my advice is never stop questioning, never stop learning, and never be afraid to be the one who finally pushes for something better. Now, to me, a leader of tomorrow is someone who takes action today. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment. It's about being adaptable and lifting others up and creating real change, no matter how big or small. But it's also about leaving something behind that lasts. And that's the biggest thing that I believe defines a leader of tomorrow, is that you're leaving behind a legacy, no matter what that may look like. Now, for me, personal success isn't just about achievements. It's about creating something that outlives you. As I've said so many times throughout this video, and as I'll probably keep preaching till the end of time, seeing We Scare Hunger continue after I graduated meant so much more to me than any award or recognition that came alongside it. To me, that's what real success looks like. It's about making an impact that lasts, even when you're not in the room. To the young girls in the room who were nominated for this award, I was in your seat just 1 year ago listening to stories of leadership and impact and wondering, how do I get there? And if there's one thing I've learned, it's that you don't have to have everything figured out to start making a difference. Just by being here today, you're already surrounding yourself with women who believe in you and who want you to succeed and who will one day be cheering you on. Now, for me, that person's always been my mom, and seeing her navigate leadership as a woman in a position of influence has really shaped me into who I am today. She taught me that strength isn't about being the loudest one in the room. It's about lifting others up and leading with integrity and never letting doubt define your potential. That's what women supporting women is all about. Showing up for each other, advocating for one another, making sure no one feels like they have to do it alone. So when you step up into leadership, into business, into whatever path you may choose, bring others with you. Your voice and your perspective matter so much more than you know. And at the end of the day, listen, I'll be candid. I'm just an 18-year-old girl figuring it all out. I don't have all the answers, and I absolutely won't sit here and pretend to. But to me, I know that leadership isn't about having it all mapped up. It's about showing up, taking that first step, and believing you're capable of more than you think. To the young women in this room, you don't have to wait to be ready to lead. If you see something that needs to change, be the one to change it. You already have everything you need to make an impact. And to the incredible women who don't see themselves as young women anymore, thank you. Thank you for paving the way, for breaking barriers, and for making it possible for the next generation, my generation, of female leaders to dream bigger. Because of you, we are here, and I promise you, we won't take that for granted. Now, I'm so honored to have gone to share this moment with all of you, even from my tiny little dorm room 350 kilometers away, and I can't wait to see what's next. Happy International Women's Day.
We use that to be humble and bring others to the levels that we are. That way, it's not about us first, it's about others first.
Hi, my name is Neha and I'm the founder of Book My Therapy.
Hi, I'm Kathy Snyder and I'm President and CEO and co-owner of NOPAT Canada Inc.
I'm Angela Power, Vice Chair, co-owner of NOPAT Canada Inc.
My name is Dr. Linda Paduel and I'm an investment teacher.
My name is Frances Van Dieren. I'm founder and owner and CEO, I guess, of KW Chairmassage.
I'm Sandy Nickel, founder and local food creator at Snickle Fritz Kitchens.
I'm Cheryl Stanavka. I'm the founder and executive director for Alt Carrot, professional corporation, BA firm, and I'm also the founder of the Realty Dan, a real estate company.
Adventure for Change is a registered charity with headquarters in the north of Waterloo. We are known for being a bridge for newcomers and refugee families who found themselves in government-assisted housing.
Do it. Just do it. Go in baby steps. Walk in baby steps.
Keep the light in the end of the tunnel because you're going to get there and it's a matter of time. But if you're truly, truly passionate about what you're doing as far as your job, the rest will come together.
Please don't be afraid. Just go out, ask for help, and learn and adapt as much as possible, as fast as possible.
Yeah, early. A lot of people make the mistake of walking alone, which means that your speed is going to be really very, very slow.
Be the change you wish to see in the world.
You have an idea in your head, pops up, and you go, oh, that's a dumb idea. You need to do something about that idea.
We can take steps to create a more inclusive and equitable environment for women.
It's about recognizing the urgency and committing to tangible changes that have a lasting impact. Let's
implement inclusive policies like equal pay and flexible working arrangements.
Provide training on unconscious bias and diversity.
Ensure women's representation at all levels.
establish mentorship and sponsorship programs.
Set measurable goals and hold ourselves accountable.
Accelerating action in the workplace as it surrounds gender equity and empowering women is a large part of our core values here at Oxford Learning Waterloo. Some of the areas in which we're accelerating that progress to a more equitable workplace is we really look at collaboration and support instead of competition. We want to make sure that everybody has the opportunity to have their ideas shared, even if it's not chosen. I provide a lot of different leadership courses for everybody here at the center because I think the opportunity should be given to see whether or not you like to be in a position of leadership, not just decided for you.
I believe that in order to accelerate women in the workplace, we need to support one another in general. We need to cheer on those women who are currently making a difference and celebrate their wins and the jobs well done. We need to show up and support women in sports. We finally have a women's professional hockey league, the PWHL, and hopefully that'll set a baseline to have other professional women's leagues.
Accelerating action means to me that we should all use our voices each and every moment, each and every opportunity to make sure that we stand up for one another as women, that we empower one another, that we build each other up, and that we also call out any behaviors or activities that work against this objective.
To me, accelerating action means we've got to move the needle, moving beyond conversations and taking real measurable steps towards change. As a social media manager, I accelerate action by using digital platforms to amplify important conversations, showcase diverse voices, and create content that drives engagement and change. By helping business owners communicate their values authentically, I can ensure their message reaches the right audience and inspires real impact. Together, let's accelerate action.
One of the other things we really look at is considering what our workdays look like and how it comes to our physical health and our mental health and what that can really do for us and how it affects our progress. We all know as females, we can go through pregnancy, perimenopause, menopause, where we are in our cycle or general stressors of life can affect our progress at work. These are things we take into consideration here at Oxford Learning Waterloo. Some days you might need to have a lighter work day when you're having a tough day with your cycle. Everything we say ebbs and flows, no pun intended. And so we really do take that in consideration in how we structure our time. And we also really make sure that the males on our team are aware of that as well, so there isn't a stigma surrounding that.
To us, accelerating action means moving beyond talk and taking concrete steps to create equal opportunities for women in the workplace.
It's about addressing biases, offering mentorship, and ensuring women have access to leadership roles.
To accelerate progress, we need focus on advocating for inclusive policies, supporting women's career growth,
and holding ourselves and others accountable to make gender equity a reality.
Young girls and women need to know that they can be whatever they want to be and have the career that they desire. We need to continue to tell our family history and what our mothers and grandmothers had to overcome to get here. And lastly, look around the room. The strong women here today are helping to lay the groundwork for future strong women to follow. So thank you to you, and happy International Women's Day.
To think about all we deal with, our strength truly is unmatched.
We can do it together, and accelerating means we do it each and every time without fail. Let's go.
International Women's Day!
Good morning and happy International Women's Day. Please join us in welcoming your host for this morning, Regional Chair Karen Redman.
So good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for 2025 International Women's Day breakfast. It's wonderful to see this room so full. I'm Karen Redman, and I'm Regional Chair for the region of Waterloo, and I have the pleasure of hosting this event for the past 28 years, and it's great to be with you again. Before we begin, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge that we live and work on the traditional territory of the Neutral, Anishinaabe, and Haudenosaunee peoples, as we seek a renewed relationship based on the foundation of mutual understanding and respect to properly acknowledge our dedication to reconciliation with Indigenous people. We need to have an unwavering commitment and, most importantly, meaningful action. To guide us in this moment of reflection, we are honored to share a special Thanksgiving address from Paula Whitlow, Truth and Reconciliation Director with the region of Waterloo. While she had hoped to join us in person today, she was unable to attend. However, she has sent us a video message to share her greetings.
May the cycles of life continue. We have been given the duty to live in balance and harmony with each other and all living things. So now we bring our minds together as one as we give greetings and thanks to each other as people. We are all thankful to our Mother, the Earth, for she gives us all that we need for life. She supports our feet as we walk upon her. It gives us joy that she continues to care for us as she has from the beginning of time. To our Mother, the Earth, we send greetings and thanks. We give thanks to all the waters of the world for quenching our thirst and providing us with strength. Water is life. We know its power in many forms, from waterfalls and rain to mists and streams, rivers and oceans. With one mind, we send greetings and thanks to the Spirit of water. We turn our minds to all the fish life in this water. They were instructed to cleanse and purify it. They also give themselves to us as food. We are grateful that we can still find pure water. So we turn now to the fish and send our greetings and thanks. Now we turn towards the vast fields of plant life as far as the eye can see. The plants grow and work many wonders. They sustain many life forms. With our minds gathered together, we give thanks and look forward to seeing plant life continue for many generations to come. With one mind, we turn and honor all the food plants we harvest from the garden. Since the beginning of time, the grains, vegetables, beans, and berries have helped people to survive. Many other living things draw strength from them too. We gather all the food plants together as one and send them a greetings of thanks. Now let's turn to all the medicine herbs of the world. From the beginning of time, they were instructed to take away sickness. They were always waiting and ready to heal us. We are happy that there are still a few special amongst us who remember how to use these plants for healing. With one mind, we send greetings and thanks to the medicines and to the keepers of those medicines. We gather our minds together to send greetings and thanks to all the animal life in the world. They have many things to teach us as people. We are honored by them when they give up their lives so we may use their bodies as food. We see them near our homes and in the deep forest. We are glad that they are still here, and we hope that it will always be so. Now let's turn our thoughts to the trees. The earth has many families of trees who have their own instructions and uses. Some provide us with shelter and shade, others with fruit, beauty, and other useful things. Many people of the world use a tree as a symbol of peace and strength. With one mind, we greet and thank the tree life. We put our minds together as one and thank all the birds who move and fly above over our heads. The Creator gave them beautiful songs. Each day they remind us to enjoy and appreciate life. The eagle was chosen to be the leader. To all the birds, from the smallest to the largest, we send our joyful greetings and thanks. We are all thankful to the powers we know as the four winds. We hear their voices in the moving air as they refresh us and purify the air we breathe. They help us to bring in the change of seasons. From the four directions they come, bringing us messages and giving us strength. With one mind, we send our greetings and thanks to those four winds. Now let's turn to the west, where our grandfather, the thunder beings, live. With lightning and thundering voices, they bring with them the water that renews life. We are thankful that they keep those evil things that are housed underground. We bring our minds together as one to send greetings and thanks to our grandfather, the thunders. Now we turn and send greetings and thanks to our eldest brother, the sun. Each day without fail, he travels the sky from east to west, bringing in the light of a new day. He is the source of all the fires of life. With one mind, we send greetings and thanks to our brother, the sun. We put our minds together as one to give greetings and thanks to our oldest grandmother, the moon. She lights the nighttime sky. She is the leader of women all over the world, and she governs the movements of the ocean tides. By her changing face, we measure time, and it is the moon who watches over the arrival of children here on earth. With one mind, we send greetings and thanks to our grandmother, the moon. We give thanks to the stars who are spread across the sky like jewelry. We see them in the night, helping the moon to light the darkness and bringing dew to the gardens that grow things. When we travel at night, they guide us home. With our minds gathered together as one, we send greetings and thanks to the stars. We gather our minds to greet and thank the enlightened teachers who have come to help us throughout the ages. When we forget how to live in harmony, they remind us of the way we were instructed to live as people. With one mind, we send greetings and thanks to all these caring teachers. Now let's turn our thoughts to the Creator or Great Spirit, or whomever you see as your higher power. We send greetings and thanks for all the gifts of creation. Everything we need to live a good life is here on Mother Earth. For all the love that is still around us, we gather our minds together as one and send our choicest words of greetings and thanks to the Creator. Closing words. We have now arrived at the place where we end our words. Of all the things that I have named, it was not my intention to leave anything out. If something was forgotten, we leave it to each individual to send such greetings and thanks in their own special way. And now our minds are one.
In addition to our commitment to reconciliation with Indigenous peoples as participants in today's events, we're coming together as one. We believe everyone is free to be their true self and receive the same respect and opportunity, regardless of age, ethnicity, gender, culture, identity, sexual orientation, beliefs, or language. We hope you'll join us in fostering a positive environment here today to ensure a safe and welcoming space for all. For anyone who is recognizing it as well, this is Ramadan, and it's a time of increased compassion and understanding. Ramadan Mubarak. International Women's Day is recognized globally on March 8th every year, celebrating social, economic, cultural, and political achievements of women. This year, we celebrate International Women's Day with the theme, Accelerate Action. Imagine a world where gender equality isn't just an aspiration, but a reality, where barriers are broken, opportunities are accessible, and progress is swift. A world where we don't wait for change to drive it forward with purpose and urgency. By taking bold steps today, we can create a more equitable tomorrow. Together, we have the power to accelerate action and make a lasting impact. Thank you for being here to champion this important cause. This morning's event would not be possible without the continued support from many of our incredible sponsors. So I'd ask you to hold your applause to the end because it's quite a list. Our title sponsor is BMO. Silver sponsors are Enbridge and EY. Bronze sponsors are Hefner, Lexus, and Hefner Toyota, Home Hardware Stores Limited, and Wilfrid Laurier University. Award sponsor is Waterloo Regional Police Service. Design sponsor is W Design Company. Production sponsor is Good Company Productions. Sign and print sponsor is Westmount Signs and Printing. Photography, Edmonsky Tomas Photography. Hospitality partner is Bingamans. Media partner, Rogers TV. And our flower partner, Harp and Finn Company, has donated the beautiful flowers that we see on our tables today. But the best part is you get to take them home. Each guest can select one flower from each vase to add to your greenery, and you'll find a ribbon on the tables to help secure your bouquet. Our gift sponsor is Little Mushroom Catering, who graciously donated the delicious cookies that you all get to go home with, unless somebody's already eaten them, and I've seen a couple people noshing on them. And our door prize partners who contributed items in support of the Food Bank of Waterloo Region. Thank you for your generous donations, and thank all of you for purchasing door prize tickets. Please join me in welcoming these incredible sponsors. I'd also like to extend an official welcome to the following individuals in attendance today. And again, the list is long, so please hold your applause to the end. I would ask colleagues who are politically elected, if you can stand, please stand. Mayor of Waterloo, Dorothy McCabe. Mayor of Kitchener, Barry Verbanovich. Mayor of Township of Woolwich, Sandy Shantz. Mayor of the Township of North Dumfries, Sue Foxton. MP Mike Morris, MP Bardish Chager, MP Kitchener South Hespeler Valerie Bradford, Regional Councillor Colleen James, Regional Councillor Chantel Hunick, Regional Councillor Jim Erb, Regional Councillor Pam Wolf, Waterloo Councillor Sandra Hamner, City of Kitchener Councillor Christine Michaud, City of Kitchener Councillor Dave Snyder, and City of Cambridge Councillor Ross Earnshaw. Thank you all for being here. Here from the Chamber's Board of Directors, we have Ajua Minta for All Ice Cream, Kathy Snyder, NOPAC Canada Inc., Carlene Carroll, Waterloo Wilfrid Laurier University, Gina Huddle, Ken Cannot, Geraldine Stafford, Waterloo Regional Police Service, and Stephanie Sulis, Little Mushroom Catering. Thank you for being here today to celebrate with us. A shout out to the people who didn't get to enjoy our great breakfast but are joining us virtually. It's wonderful to have you as well. Before I welcome Sherry Griffiths, Senior Vice President and Head of Ontario Canadian Commercial Banking with BMO, to the stage, BMO would like to share a short video with you about Jane's story. Please enjoy.
And you want to buy an apple for 23 cents. How much change would you get back? Who knows the answer? Elijah?
27 cents.
Very good, Elijah. 27 cents is the correct answer.
Happy birthday, princess. Go and spoil yourself, okay? You like it?
Yeah.
We're gonna get it. Some retail therapy, right?
Right.
Don't tell your dad.
Is that in your jacket? Yep, just a little retail therapy.
Another bill?
Bit of advice, honey. Marry rich.
I picked it out myself.
When it tastes like that, she's gonna put me in the poorhouse. I'm gonna take care of everything.
Here you go, gentlemen.
Hey, thank you so much.
So, as you can see, ceilings, major feature of this property.
Should be an easy fix. I'll send the quote to your husband.
Sounds good.
I mean, yeah, that's Derek. He earns it. I spend it.
Just to clarify, were all your investments held jointly?
She's gonna put me in the poorhouse. I'll talk to your husband about the costs.
Some retail therapy, right? Go spoil yourself.
Such a powerful message. Thank you, BMO, for sharing that video and for the long-standing support of this event. Please join me in welcoming Sherry Griffiths to the stage.
Good morning and welcome. That video gets me every time. And for me, it's quite personal because when I think of my own journey, the actual reason I'm a banker today is because my dad, who worked as a custodian at the high school, not the high school I went to, thankfully, because you wouldn't want your dad at your own high school, but he worked at the other high school. And when I was a teenager, he went around to all the community boards in the high school and pulled down the flyer that said that a local bank was hiring. He brought them home, and in the morning, when I came out for breakfast, all those flyers were on my kitchen table. I think he was trying to give me good odds, I think, but he put those flyers down, and my dad and I may have disagreements, but the reason he put it down in the message to me was, Sherry, you're really good at math. You should work at a bank. And as a teenager, I hadn't thought of that. And so that's how my journey started and why I'm standing here today. And I think that video is a very powerful message around the conversations we need to have with young girls and women. And we should continue to do that. Feel free to use that video yourself. You can Google it. It's on YouTube, Jane's Story. And I encourage you to have those conversations with as many women and men as you can in your networks, because I think it's very important.
we do appreciate being here. We've been a long-time sponsor, and we love participating. This is my favorite time of year, and I don't want to take a ton of time. Apparently, we have our future CEO who kicked us off this morning. Everyone saw our latest BMO employee. I thought that was fantastic. I look forward to working for her one day. I'm sure I will. But I just want to say welcome and thank you. I know that for us, BMO really is here in every respect in trying to participate in our communities. And I know we have Team BMO here. Lots of my colleagues are here, and we continue to support where we can. So thank you. I look forward to a great day, and we appreciate it, Karen. Thank you very much.
Sherry stands behind us as BMO, and I'm happy to stand behind her. I felt like I was hiding. That was a bit awkward, so sorry about that. Thank you. It is great to have that kind of sponsorship over the long term. And Sherry, I got a little verklempt watching the video too. Today's event would also not be possible without the continued support of our Women's Leadership Committee. These individuals volunteer their time and talent, excuse me, to help bring these events to life. And I want to thank them, and I would ask them to stand if they're in the room. And again, we'll hold our applause till the end because there's quite a list. Allison Burke, Oxford Learning Waterloo. Rebecca Hempy, the Delivery Guys, Inc. Janice McVie, Dean Group. Ajua Minta, For All Ice Cream. Carla Harris, Told by Harris. Nala Kaur, Core Capabilities Counseling. Shannon Shaw, Talbot Uniforms and Promotional Products. Sandra Stone. Rachel Summers, RBC Royal Bank. Leslie Warren, W Design Company. Reem El-Khadi, Zen Organize Me. Kim Wilhelm, the Food Bank of Waterloo Region, and supported by Andy Lakotas and Rio McManus from the Chamber of Commerce. Please join me in thanking these wonderful people. We also would like to acknowledge some female founders, several of whom are in the room with us today. Female Founders Series is presented by KW Chamber of Commerce and Scotiabank. Over the past few months, the following female founders have shared their business stories. Neha Book My Therapy, Sandy Nickel, Snickle Fritz Kitchens, I wish I'd come up with that name. Alusin Alawinka, Adventure for Change. Linda Pajul, Investornomy Inc., not easy to say. Cheryl Sambavku, Alt Carrot Professional Corp. Kathy Snyder and Angela Power, NOPAC Kitchener Inc., Canada Inc., and Frances Van Dieren, KW Chair Massage. Thank you for sharing your stories with us. You can go to visit their stories on kw.com. In honor of International Women's Day, we are pleased to recognize a Leader of Tomorrow once again this year with special award presentation. There are nearly 15 students who are attending today's event from local high schools. These ladies maintain high grades, demonstrate exceptional leadership skills while displaying an active commitment to volunteerism in our community. We don't have to embarrass you, it's just a perk of being MC. So I would ask you all to stand and we would recognize these phenomenal young women, if you wouldn't mind standing. I would now like to welcome Inspector Tanya Klingenberg with the Waterloo Regional Police Service to present the award to this year's winner. Welcome, Tanya.
Thank you, Chair Redman. The Waterloo Regional Police Service is proud to be the award sponsor of the Chamber's International Women's Day Breakfast Leader of Tomorrow Award. This year's applicants were all exceptional, making the decision extremely difficult. But we are thrilled to be congratulating the winner of the 2025 International Women's Day Leaders of Tomorrow Award to Miranda Moffat of Forest Heights Collegiate Institute. So Miranda has maintained a high level of academic excellence while actively contributing to her school and community. She has taken on leadership roles, including being her school's representative for safe, caring, and inclusive schools, and attending leadership conferences such as the Canadian Student Leadership Conference and Horizons, which is very, very impressive. As the driving force behind her school's festive food drive, Miranda took the initiative to plan, organize, and execute a large-scale event that had a meaningful impact on our community. Through her leadership, the event collected nearly 1,000 food items, along with essential hygiene and clothing donations, all of which were distributed to those in need through her school's open house food pantry. Miranda introduced creative elements such as a scavenger hunt to encourage participation, even for those unable to donate food directly. Additionally, Miranda organized a friendly homeroom competition, motivating students to contribute while fostering a sense of community within the school. Beyond school, Miranda has demonstrated an unwavering commitment to volunteerism, accumulating more than 400 hours of service in our community. She has dedicated a lot of her time to the YMCA, working closely with children and youth programs, coaching, scorekeeping, and organizing sports tournaments that provide a safe and encouraging environment for kids. She has also taken an active role in mentoring young athletes, helping them develop skills and confidence. Her ability to organize, lead, and inspire others has made a tangible impact, not only within her school, but throughout our region. Please join me in congratulating this year's Leader of Tomorrow, Miranda Moffat.
Thank you so much. I am incredibly grateful and very, very humbled by this award, especially considering the fact that our nominees are some of the most inspiring young leaders in our community. This award, I believe, is not only a reflection of my individual efforts, but also the incredible communities that I've been able to have a part in. I've met leaders from all across the country, which has taught me, if one thing, that no one is too small to make a difference. We all have the power to become leaders, to inspire, to create change, whether it be through our volunteerism, our academic success, or even the simple act of giving our time to those in need. The impact of working alongside inspiring individuals, especially women who continue to push boundaries and challenge the status quo, has inspired me to create change. Of course, to make this a real acceptance speech, I have to thank my parents. But my parents have truly taught me what it means to have an open heart and to be resilient. My mother has taught me continuously that in the face of adversity, the best thing is to be resilient. They have both supported me unconditionally through all of my endeavors. Thank you again. I am so honored, and I'm so happy to be here with such an incredible group of community members and leaders. And thank you to all the incredible women and leaders who are helping shape our future with purpose and passion. Thank you.
Photo op.
Both you guys are gorgeous. Thank you.
Every year, I'm blown away, not only by the person that receives the recognition, but the wonderful young women that are at the table every year. There's no shortage of people that are making a significant difference in our community. I have to say, Miranda, you talking about your mom and having an open heart just really touched me. I think we need more open hearts. Thank you very much, Tanya. That was great. And congratulations again to Miranda and all of our finalists. We're pleased to share that tickets are on sale, and importantly, nominations are open till the end of the month for KW Oktoberfest Rogers Women of the Year Awards. They will take place on May 22nd. Nominate outstanding women who make Waterloo Region a better place to live, work, and play, and grow by visiting thewomanoftheyear.ca. To celebrate the opening of nominations, KW Oktoberfest has generously provided a gift basket for a special giveaway. We placed a wine charm on one of the water glasses. So if you find a wine charm on yours, congratulations, you are the lucky winner. Please head over to the raffle table to claim your prize. So this is the opposite. You know how they say there's a car and it's parked where it shouldn't be and there's a license number and people want to not skulk out immediately if it's their car? Does anybody have the wine charm? You can stand up proudly and claim it if you do. Oh, there you go. Congratulations. It is now my absolute pleasure to introduce you to this morning's session of panelists. They'll come up after I read their bio. Christy Lee is founder and CEO of Patient Companion, a digital platform designed to enhance communication between nurses and patients. Inspired by her volunteer work in hospitals and long-term care homes, Christy recognized the need to alleviate the communication challenges in healthcare settings. With a biomedical engineering degree from the University of Waterloo, Christy has combined her passion for healthcare and technology. Her professional experience at companies like AWS and KA Imagining has further honed her expertise in driving her to create innovative solutions that bridge the gap between healthcare and technology. Ajua Minta is the CEO of For All Ice Cream. After earning her chemical engineering degree from the University of Waterloo in 2001, Ajua worked in the industry for 15 years, venturing from product development in automotive industry to technical consulting in the finance sector. With a passion for making, Ajua took a deep leap of faith to turn the love for ice cream into a reality. I think you're living a lot of our fantasies. Now as founder of For All Ice Cream, Ajua blends her education, diverse experiences, and creativity to craft frozen delights for all dietary needs. Her mission? To spread the joy of ice cream to everyone, no matter their dietary preferences or restrictions. With a knack for setting goals and problem solving, Ajua brings a unique blend of engineering precision and culinary delight to each scoop. Dr. Suzanne Cairns is an accomplished aviation academic with over 2 decades of experience specializing in aviation sustainability, education, and human factors. A former airplane and helicopter pilot, she earned her first pilot license at the age of 17. I hope the high school students are listening. There's never too young to start. And began her academic career as a professor at the age of 24. Dr. Cairns is recognized internationally for her research on educating the next generation of aviation professionals and exploring methods to attract talent to the aviation field. She has taught thousands of aviation professionals worldwide, both in the classroom and through electronic courseware. Dr. Cairns is the author of co-authored of 6 influential books, including internationally leading textbook, Fundamentals of International Aviation, which has been translated into multiple languages. In 2021, she founded the Waterloo Institute for Sustainable Aeronautics, also known as WISA, at the University of Waterloo, which she leads as director. Under her leadership, WISA has grown to include over 140 professors and is world-leading hub for sustainable aviation research, technology, and education. Her contributions have earned her numerous national and international awards for research and aviation. Please join me in welcoming Christy, Ajua, and Suzanne to the stage. So I warned these guests that a few years back when we were in another venue, two of us had very tight short skirts on and really high stools. So they took the cue. We're all wearing pants and it's nice and comfy. Jua, I'm going to start with you. You're a self-described super boss. What does this mean to you, and what do you hope that conveys to others?
I don't know if I remember calling myself a super boss, but it sounds good. And for me, it means when I'm putting together my teams to do anything, there's a couple of things that I'm looking for. One is I need people that know more than me. I'm looking for skills that I don't have so that I can grow and I can learn. The other bit is that simply I value learning. And so to me, I'm always actively looking to learn from everybody in my team. And I think that's what makes me a good boss.
Love the answer. I would aspire to be a super boss, I think. Suzanne, you've knocked on a lot of doors within academia to invite colleagues to collaborate in a vision that was inspired by your students. What was the most intimidating part of working through that process?
That's an interesting question. And I don't know if it's a female thing or not, but I think that imposter syndrome, that questioning of, the person on the other side of the door knows more than I do or is more accomplished than I am, I think that maybe never goes away. And I'll just share with you that a lot of the work I do now is because the young students that I teach came up to me and they said, can you love aviation and the planet at the same time? Is it possible to be passionate about being a pilot and being inspired by flight while also being environmentally responsible? And the reality is that our industry, the industry that I love, has major challenges on that front. And that if we're thinking about how to create a more sustainable future, it's not a problem that I have the answers to. It's a problem that is so much bigger and more complicated. And I often describe it as a mosaic, like it's like 1,000 points of light that need to come together to create a more sustainable future for this industry. So it's not something I can do alone. So a lot of my journey at the university was this process of imagining, like, what if I could get all of these bright minds, all of these professors and other disciplines who are experts in their own field, what if they would be inspired to bring their solutions and their ideas and their creativity into aviation? It makes so much more sense than training pilots to do these things, that we have all of this talent already. And so, as Karen mentioned, I knocked on a lot of doors and I had the same conversation over and over again, which was, tell me what you're passionate about. What do you what lights you up? And I'll tell you how that connects to aviation. and in a strange way, there were many, many connections. So it's intimidating because these are all experts in their own field. But I think what's common is that if you come together behind a shared purpose, when you start to see that what you're passionate about can maybe solve problems in areas or ways that you've never expected before, then you can really start to bring a movement together and leverage each other's strengths.
Christy, you're co-founder of Patient Companion, which is a tech solution to support nurses. I love the collision of sort of the empathetic with the high tech. This innovation is transforming patient-nurse communication and improving healthcare efficiency. The genesis of this came from your time volunteering in hospital and long-term care homes. Can you share any secrets with us about making co-founder relationship work when it's a passion project for you?
For sure. So I'm not sure if this is actually a secret, but I think finding a co-founder who's already your friend. My co-founder is also a biomedical engineering graduate from University of Waterloo. So we took classes together for 5 years. So we shared the same passion of supporting the nurses. He also has family members who are nurses. So that kind of, I wouldn't call it a secret per se, because it's just finding a friend who shares the same mission and passion with you. And I guess a secret of ours is, I forgot to mention it, but we used to go out for ice cream every day for all. So find someone who also likes something that you like, which is, in this case, ice cream for all. This is not marketing. I did not get paid to say this.
I support this message.
But yeah, that's a little bit of secret right there.
Thank you for that. And I have to say that when we had our sort of planning conversation, and I knew some of these panelists, but not all of them. And if you looked on the website for International Women's Day themes for 2029, it said for all women. So I said to Drew, we just absolutely had to have you on this panel because this is for all. And I also want to point out, in case it's anybody's misses, I am the woefully under accredited person on this stage. I think you've picked up the theme that these individuals have had amazing academic careers and have followed passion and pivoted from that. Juo, was it difficult to change the trajectory of your career from being a chemical engineer to becoming an entrepreneur in ice cream production? And who was it hardest to convince that this was the right decision to make?
That's an amazing question. And I think about it often. And I think in the end, I conclude that I haven't given up being a chemical engineer. Engineers solve problems. Engineers face challenges. And specifically as a chemical engineer, we make things. We are concerned with how things are made. We design processes. So after working for other people for a very long time, helping make their processes, what I thought was, yes, I love ice cream, but what I'm actually passionate about and what is so special to me about For All Ice Cream is that we make it. It's a process that I've designed. So for me, I bring every ounce of chemical engineering to my business, and I'm still a chemical engineer. I'm still paying for my license. I still sign my name with my professional engineering designation because I don't think I've given it up. Now, who was the hardest person to convince this was right? For some reason, I thought it was going to be my parents. It wasn't. There was a grant that I'd applied to, and you basically had to be under 40 to qualify for this grant. So on my 39th, I think I was 39, 355 days, and I slid it in the door. And really what that tells me is that I was the hardest person to convince this is right. There's a lot of security in getting a steady paycheck. I worked hard for my credentials. I worked hard in my career, and there's a lot of safety and security there. So taking that giant leap, I was the hardest person to convince.
You know, one of the things that's always struck me is that being in public life, it's not just what you do, it's how you do it. Can you talk just for a minute about your commitment to the environment? Because I think that helps define who you are and what your business looks like too.
Yeah, I think that's an important part of who I am. I actually ran my environmental club in high school, so it's something that I've always been passionate about. So in starting a business, that was something that it didn't seem hard to think about or hard to do. It just needed to be part of what For All offered. And so we've always made decisions that supported that. So in our scoop shops, if you've ever been in, we have always used compostable packaging. And at the time that we started, the standard was something else, but it made sense to just do it that way. It didn't make sense to start in any other format. We actually had an evolution in packaging. We kind of went for non-conventional packaging because of how strongly that meant for us, or how important that was for me in the business. Our first iteration of packaging was paperboard. Unconventional, but it was freezer safe, so that's how we started. And then we evolved to glass jars, returnable glass jars, which is something more durable. It made our product cost a little bit more, but I was very happy by how well people embraced it. Our glass jars went out, our glass jars came back, there was a deposit involved, and people really embraced it. As the business has grown, it's become necessary that we need to get our product out further, so we did move away from glass jars, and that was a pretty hard decision to make, but in really wanting to keep the commitment to sustainability in the environment, what we did is we've partnered with a local company that actually allows us to purchase carbon offsets. So that even though we've got something that's maybe less sustainable than our glass jars are, we're able to still give back in that way. So it's woven into everything we do.
And not unlike Christy, I don't want this to be a long commercial for All Ice Cream, but on the last election day, I took my 5 grandchildren and we went and celebrated at For All Ice Cream at the end of the campaign. Suzanne, I don't really believe that work-life balance actually exists. Do you? And what evidence do you have for your conclusion?
Ooh, this is one of those things where I'm like, my husband and kids may have opinions about this. I guess when you're little, you think that the job is something that you do from 9 to 5, and then you go home and it's the rest of your life. In my experience, a job becomes part of who you are. It becomes sort of completely interwoven with your personality and your identity and how you choose to live your life. And I'll just share a quick anecdote with you. I have 3 children who are, the light of my life. They're big now, so they would be horrified that I said that in public. But but I can tell you that none of them have a passion for aviation, despite me exposing them to lots of air shows and different events. They all have their own passions. And I always joke with them, it's like, how did aviation and loving that and having a passion for that become a nerdy mom thing in my house, like knitting maybe, or quilting, or something that like the kids are like, oh no, aviation, that's for moms. So it's a different kind of world. So I'll say that like work-life balance is critical. I think when you look around, who the women that you're inspired by, it's really, really hard to find people who have a balance of integrity, of balancing their work, their family commitments, their health, putting all of that together, community and service and giving back. That balance, I think, is a life journey. It's something that kind of comes in ebbs and flows, and sometimes there's sacrifices and challenges. I'll say that my partner and I kind of take turns and who's leaning on the other one, who's carrying the heavier burden. But for the young people, I'll just say, and it's something I tell my kids as well, just pay attention when you're young to what lights you up. What is it when you talk about it with your friends that you're excited by and that energy comes through? And then how can you align your future working environment with that? Because if you can, then sort of that combination between balancing your work and your life, it's interwoven and it really becomes a part of who you are.
Christy, you were a full-time student at the same time you became an entrepreneur. What helped you navigate that kind of busy schedule?
Yeah, I think it was definitely the support from the university. I was able to take courses that are business related, which kind of helped me equip the skills that I never got previous to taking those courses. Our professors, as well as the community that I was part of, was definitely helpful in supporting that busy schedule. For instance, like I was part of Greenhouse, which is a social impact incubator at Waterloo, as well as Velocity and Community. I was also part of all of those communities while I was a student. So I was able to get the support from not only from school, but the community at Waterloo and Kitchener area, which was definitely helpful.
Jewel, what is the most important piece of knowledge that you've gained being a business owner? I.e., what do you know now that you didn't know when you started?
Another great question. There's a lot of things I feel like I've picked up, but the one that sticks with me is that inaction is the worst thing that I can do, or that anybody on my team can do. And failure is not a big deal. Failure means that you attempted something and it gave you an opportunity to learn something. And I tell that to my kids all the time. And I also tell that to my young team. We've got 14-year-olds, like most of the kids that's when they start working with me are 14. And so one of the things we talk about often is just try. It's not ever important to me that the outcome was what they expected, but that they made an attempt with the information that they had. And it's hard to describe a mistake as something bad, because there was that opportunity to learn. So really, I just feel like knowing and appreciating that failure is not a big deal is really what I'm glad I know now and understand now, because I've lived it over and over and over again. I failed a lot. So yeah.
Thanks for that really honest answer. And just so you know, they knew these questions ahead of time, and I really haven't thrown too many curveballs, but I don't know what their answers are. You're engaging as I knew you would be. Suzanne, you've authored 6 books, including a textbook, Fundamentals of International Aviation, and it's gone into multiple translations. Where do you find the inspiration to be an author that's that prolific, given everything else you're doing in life?
Yeah, so I can share with you that when I started as an academic, I remember one of my first meetings with my chair, and he had a book behind him with his name on it, and I thought that was like the coolest thing. And they were like, that's really neat. So writing books for me it was problem driven. So while we have aviation in universities in Canada today, when I went to school, we did not. I had to go to school in the States. America has a really big aviation industry in universities and colleges. When I came back and I was hired as a professor in Canada's first university-based aviation program, and in teaching, what we would use were the American textbooks, and we would show, like, we would be talking, and then we would always say, oh, but it's not quite like this, right? Because this is Canada, we do things a bit differently. So that was part of it. And then the other part is I kept teaching these young men and women, and aviation's a very expensive field to be in. So these 18, 19-year-old kids who want to be a pilot, they take on a burden, and their families take on a burden of between $100,000 to $150,000 in debt. It's very expensive to earn your pilot licenses and your degree. And I saw over and over again these young people, for whatever reason, financial, flight aptitude, I've seen motion sickness issues. I saw them leaving and not achieving that dream. And yet our industry, the aviation industry, is facing massive personnel shortages in every category. And pilots are just one job. Like, they're actually the vast majority. Their airports, air traffic controllers, maintenance, everything you can imagine to run the whole system. And I thought, what a huge loss to the industry to have these young, passionate people who love aviation leaving this field because maybe they don't realize how they can apply their passion to something else, and pivot slightly, but keep moving forward. And so that was really the origin of the book. It's sort of like, what if we changed how we educate people, and instead of teaching them to be a pilot in Canada, the first class they take is this broad overview of how aviation works internationally, and it profiles airports and security and air traffic control and weather and environment. And then maybe they could see themselves reflected in some area that they've never seen before. And if not, if they weren't successful in becoming a pilot, we have significant attrition because of the costs, then maybe they can find their place in another passion, and then the industry can retain that talent and expertise. And I'll just share with you, aligned with your comment, my first book was not very successful. I'm trying to not say it was a failure. I'm trying to say, with a different language. It was not great. It's not in print anymore, which is probably good. That aside. But the fundamentals book is actually my fourth book, and it was a passion project for me. And so I just want to share with you that you look at somebody who's further along in their journey, it's easy to say, oh, that's really successful, but we don't really talk about the first misstep. And there's often a lot of missteps, more than anyone talks about or realizes. So you don't get to that endpoint without going through hard times.
And Christy, what was your greatest asset going into the being an entrepreneur in the venture that you're now involved in?
I would say two main things. First one is community. So being part of communities, as I mentioned in the previous question, was a greatest asset and something that I'm always grateful about, because the fact that I belong in like a University of Waterloo community, as well as the incubators and accelerators that I'm part of in the Kitchener-Waterloo areas, were definitely where I met the most people from, and was able to get the advices and mentorship from a lot of these people who are already successful and were able to coach us in starting a business like this. Second one, I would say, is the full support of my parents. The fact that they just believe in what I believe in, and are just there to support mentally, has been, I would say, top two greatest assets that I took prior to being an entrepreneur.
And I have to say that you're all inspiring for so many reasons in so many multiple ways as individuals. But Christy, the fact that you volunteered and it led you to this, I look around this room and I don't know all of you, but I know a whole lot of you. And I know that you spend all of your time volunteering. And I think it was Suzanne that talked about what lights you up, what's your passion. People don't volunteer for things that they're lukewarm about. They volunteer for things that they know make a difference in the community. And I find that so inspiring. Now, we're not all going to go on to be an entrepreneur in the area that we volunteer in, but never underestimate the impact that volunteering has. Whatever your passion is, whatever that area is in the community, you do make a significant difference. So this time always goes too fast. And I know there's lots that we didn't cover, and I'm sure many of you will come up and ask these amazing individuals questions. But before we wrap up, I want to give each of you an opportunity to provide a couple of final thoughts for what you didn't say, what you had wished you'd said, or what has been left unsaid. So Suzanne, we'll start with you.
Ooh, what's left unsaid? I guess I can share with you when I was coming up in aviation. Aviation is still not a very diverse industry, and that's probably an understatement. That professional pilots are only about 5% women, and today, because of some of the political narrative and rhetoric that's happening, there's been a resurgence of real outward negativity towards female pilots, including from passengers and others, particularly in certain regions of the world. And I just want to sort of share with you that I think what is this sort of reverse impact that is this uprising of support that we're seeing as well. That I just want to mention that supporting women is also about, I guess, supporting the men who make space for women in those spaces. And that's very true in aviation because there are so few women in the field. But it's also about the community and the camaraderie and the support. And I'm members of various Facebook groups. I know it's because I'm old. I'm on Facebook. That's a kids thing, but we're on Facebook. But the Facebook groups and different things, and just seeing the community rally together and recognize that through good times or through bad times, that leaning on the people who are there for you, I think, is really essential. That when you have those challenges, you're not alone, and sometimes it can be hard to share. The ups and the downs, but knowing that community is there, I think, is really powerful. And today, I think, such a wonderful representation, and Karen, such a tremendous advocate for that message. Thank you.
Christy, do you want to go next? And we'll leave the last word for Ajua.
Sounds good. Yeah, I think I just like to highlight, I think Dr. Chairman briefly mentioned, but nurse shortage, it's something that we're really facing right now. And it's not just to promote my business or anything, but I just like to highlight the fact that I think everyone deserves more than what they're working for. And there's burnout is really, truly something that has to be highlighted. So I just like to mention that I think healthcare industry is something that everyone has to take up for, and something that we should always just consider. And I like to highlight the fact that a lot of the nurses are women, and as we're in a Women International Day, I think just highlighting the fact that we all can appreciate the fact that the frontline workers are doing so much for us, even right now. Thank you.
Ajua?
What I wanted to conclude with is I'm here because of support. I'm here because of the support from my husband. I'm here because of the support from my family, and namely my mother. I'm going to talk about my husband first, just because, in choosing to be an entrepreneur and, just essentially deciding to not work, he was describing, we were at a neighbor's house and somebody asked what I did, and he said, she volunteers for a not-for-profit. And it was a funny joke. I kind of laughed, but later. But what it is that I get to do what I do because he supports me and the vision I have. And so the other side of that is that we talk about the ice cream yacht, and we talk about the ice cream island. And so just support. I'm not here by myself. I didn't get here on my own. It's because he supported me. The other side of that is also my mother, in her support. So she's a lawyer. I grew up in Ottawa, and so just the reason I feel like I felt brave enough to do what I do is that she's somebody that's modeled, when there's a problem, who else to fix it but you. So as a lawyer in Ottawa, one of the problems that she noticed was that it was really hard to find Black hair care products. My mother knows nothing about hair at all. And my dad was working overseas at the time. She was raising 3 kids, and so she opened a Black hair care store, knowing nothing about it. So it's that type of behavior, that's the type of modeling that I've seen, that just support is so important. And so I'm only here because I've always had support, and I've always had a safety net. And I think that's an important part I want people to understand about my story, is that I'm here because others supported me, and not because I decided one day to do a thing. It's really because others were here for me and enabled me to be able to achieve what I have achieved so far.
So amazing. We hit another home run. I just am always blown away by the people that offer to share their stories. I guess as I look out at this audience, I would have to reflect on, do you think things feel different lately? I have the feeling that business as usual is a nostalgic notion. There is an imperative that we join forces to maintain the rights and freedoms that so many in this room and across the globe know were hard-won victories. In 1997, when I first started the celebration of women to mark IWD, far fewer women and less diverse representation was at all of the decision-making tables that I was party to. And I want to give a shout out to the men who have been allies and those who are in the room today, because we need your support as well. I'm also proud to say that 3 of our 4 children are here today, Laura, Abby, and James, and they're listening to these amazing stories. And we need to keep demonstrating the path forward and keeping the ladder up when we break through those glass ceilings for those who come after us. Today's guests represent an amazing entrepreneurial spirit, values that have shaped their work, and demonstrated an ability to inspire others. This has been an engaging experience, and I want to thank you so much for joining in this conversation. And for those of you who are attending again in personal and virtually, to say thank you to each of the panelists for this insightful discussion. An honorarium has been made on behalf of each of you to the charity of your choosing. I'm going to thank you, and I'm going to allow you to go off stage because I have a little bit more to do, but you don't have to sit here. It's really hot up here, isn't it? Thank you. So once again, I want to thank our sponsors for today's event, our title sponsor, BMO, silver sponsors, Enbridge and EY, bronze sponsors, Hefner, Lexus, and Hefner Toyota, Home Hardware Stores Limited, and Wilfrid Laurier University. Award sponsor, Waterloo Regional Police Service. Design sponsor, W Design Company. Producer sponsor, Good Company Productions. Sign and print sponsor, Westmount Signs and Printing. Photography sponsor, Admonsky Tomas Photography. Hospitality partners, Bingamans. Media partner, Rogers TV. Flower partner, Harp and Finn Company. Gift partner, Little Mushroom Catering. And all the door prize partners who contributed items that are in support of the Food Bank of Waterloo Region. Thank you all for your attendees, for your generous donations. Finally, thank you for joining us this morning and celebrating the successes and the collaboration of women in our community. I hope in one way or another you are all inspired by the conversation that was shared today. If you purchased door prize tickets, we encourage you to stick around for a few minutes as we will award those prizes. And for our virtual audience, enjoy your day, and we look forward to having you join us in an upcoming event.